down. Hang on one second. Just let me make sure that it's, yeah, it looks like, oh, yeah, okay. Let me go back here. I'm a little bit loopy. I didn't sleep a lot.
Yes, were you sick?
What's that?
Were you sick also, or were you having ascension symptoms? What was it with you?
Last week?
Yes.
You know, I had an interesting conversation. We'll talk about it. I had an interesting conversation with 3 or 4 different people. Test. Oh, I thought I heard something. That's strange. This is already getting multidimensional. Okay.
Yes.
So, well, with you, what would I? Oh, wow, it's not on yet. How weird. Hang on. Wow, wait a minute. Huh. Okay, hang on. Let me just get my head together here. Okay, here, let's see. Boom. Okay, yep, it's in the group, it's in the page. Is it on my page? No, it's not. How weird. Well, I know we're on YouTube. It looks like we're on. Yeah, I want to talk to you about that. See, this is not a coincidence. There's, you know, and everything is coming out. You know, we use the word synchronicity, but it's also sequential. It's not just synchronicity, like you see something and it tells you you're on the right track, but everything is happening. And every time I do a show, something like this will happen and you make a comment. I'm like, oh my God, now I know why I just talked to my friend and we were talking about the same thing. And it's like, we just keep going with it. Yeah, for some reason, we're not on my page. Oh, maybe they blocked my page. Maybe that's what happened. I put up, but I just wanted to see some of the comments, but I guess we're not going to be able to do that. Oh, there it is. Okay, here we are. Oh, it's just, you know, ever since Facebook went down, everything's slow. Okay, hello, everybody. Oh, let me turn that down. We don't need 2 Todds talking. So yeah, first, well, we'll do that in a minute. You know, this is just a conversation. It's just 2 friends having a conversation. So you asked me, let's see, is there enough people here that we could, because I think this is important. Like this will be heard on the replay. But so what we're talking about, she says to me, we're kind of in sync because you had some ascension flu symptoms. And I said, what do you mean, last week? And she said, yes. So did you have them too?
Yes.
Okay, so don't tell me what happened to you, because I want to tell you what I found out. All right. So mine started on Monday and it came like that. It just came in like that. I was feeling a little bit, you know, and then I'm like, okay, ascension flu. All right. But then after the last show on Sunday night, it just came in. And I mean, it came in instantly. Like I was on the show, I got off, and literally within 2 minutes, I got hit with it. Now, I got a bunch of other intel, and I won't get into all of it. I don't believe, well, if it was ascension flu, it was much more than that. Okay. It might have been both. It was like 10 different things probably. But what happened was mine started on Monday and it ended early Saturday morning, like probably like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And after that, I had a bloated stomach that is still a little bit bloated now, but like it was still pretty bloated through a couple of days ago, which would have been what, Saturday or something. Okay. So I found out because I talked to Kimberly Ross because I was worried about Franco De Nicola, and he got his on Monday and he's been down for 9 days. He's in pretty bad shape and she's got the same symptoms. Okay. When I talked to her 2-3 days ago, she was just starting to get them. Okay, so then I talked to James Greenshields last night on the show, and he on Monday felt a certain something, and he sat on the couch for 5 days, and he went through his own process, and it wasn't the exact same thing symptomatically, but energetically, I think I know it was. So then today, I was exchanging messages with Julie Dara Roberts, who comes on twice a month. And she says, how are you feeling? I said, I'm great. You know, my stomach is still a little bit bloated. And she said, oh, and she does all that cosmology stuff. And she said, Todd, I've been like, my stomach's been bloated for, you know, like 3 or 4 or 5 days, the same time period. And I said, mine too. She says, it's I forget what she called it, like an energetic pregnancy. And I said, that's what I've been feeling. I said, I'm even lactating. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, so she said that, you know, she was having this full stomach thing. And then one other conversation I had was with Michael Mejia. We talked for a couple of hours the other night privately, and he was telling me that when he would go through big expansions, that he would get a bloated stomach because the solar would kind of expand. So all of that information came in, and I'm thinking, okay, something's going on here, right? Now, tell me what your symptoms were.
My symptoms were also the bloated stomach, and I told my friends, I felt like a pregnant woman who's hungry all the time, because I was so annoyed when there was no food, and I was like cranky. I felt pregnant, so weird. And for me, it came later because I have 3 children, so I was postponing the time to feel sick. So I kept doing my things, but half and half. And then it hit me and I just couldn't move. Everything hurt. It was like, I think, a bit of flu symptoms, but I never have that. I don't have ascension symptoms normally. So for me, it was, I think, the first real time to have these ascension symptoms.
I had never had them to my knowledge, but again, mine felt like a flu in the beginning, but there was no fever. Okay.
No.
But when this thing hit me, immediately I got a high fever. For 2 days, I ran a high fever. But and I don't get sick either. The last time that I got sick, it was very much like this. It was in Hawaii, and it lasted 17 days. And it went through every chakra. And it was a major expansion preparation, just like this one was. And in fact, this one, I was told, you know, I knew, or however you want to say that, it was reformation, full, what did it say? Full upgrade from the cellular up. Like I knew that, you know, once I cleared it, because I remember, and I'm not going to go into the details, but when it happened, I was still physically like, oh my God, I'm going to die, you know, but I knew energetically that everything had been, every cell, every atom in the cells, I mean, everything had been, you know, upgraded. And I was even told that your body's lighter, and you're already I've been juicing 3 months, and it's like, you're already lighter. This is going to continue. You're not going to eat as much, and you're not going to want to eat. And you know, we're talking teleportation. We're talking all the skills and abilities that are natural to us. Have you gotten any information like that?
What I experienced was that I felt like my soul was getting too big for my body. Like I wanted to expand, but my body was in the way. And then I got sick, and then I felt much lighter. Yes, and it was much more fitting. So I think we are talking about the same thing.
I know we are. I know we are, because first of all, you're one of those unicorns who, well, no, really. I mean, you know, there's a lot of them out there like you, very sensitive, very ultra sensitive, you know, very nurturing of their energy, you know. You're all like that. I mean, I met so many like you, women. I mean, and I thought it was interesting. Well, and I was going to say, kind of a joke, I know it is, because you like most of them, you don't want to come on camera. I mean, we did a show one time, and it was like, you know, I think it scared you so bad you never was going to come back. But what I'm saying is so you decided, you actually reached out to me, which was really cool, because I've been like loading up the month, you know, like I've sent out probably close to 100 different, we had 200 people waiting to come on. So I like just for 9 hours, I just kept sending messages. But what I was going to say is that at the same time this happened, I noticed that, you know, like I started doing solos prior to it for about 2 weeks. I said, I know I was told, start doing them. So I'm like, what am I going to talk about? Well, just turn on the microphone and you'll figure it out. And I could feel the energy building, the power. And then I got taken down. And so then I came out of it and I started to really clue in to, hey, the gig is up. The shadow work is up. The victim consciousness is up. The mission is up.
The saving people is up.
The saving people is up. The only thing that is on is looking at your own stuff, period. It has nothing to do with anyone else. You can project all you want. You can cry all you want. You can blame, shame, all that stuff. Doesn't matter. No judgment. But we've done the work. It's time to get real. Now, so that's kind of like where I'm going with my own expressions and my work. Now, at the same time, I see you come out with like 3 badass posts. Like I shared them all. One of them was about, I think one of them was about the feminine. One of them had the picture of your son, and you were like, hey, we're not here to save people anymore. And I really got a lot out of it. And what I got out of it was, I come here and do what I do because I love doing it. If it ever became a job, if it ever became something that compromised my frequency of true self, then I wouldn't do it. Right. And that's what I read in and it was such your posts were so fierce. Like like they were like a lioness was coming out like, so thank you for that. And tell us what happened and tell us what's going on.
Thank you for reading, Todd, and supporting me always. I love it. I think the date that I marked for myself was the 12th of September. I marked it for myself as a rebirth date. I think for you, it was the 9/11. There was a lot of energy building around that. And then the day after, I felt like there was a new earth. There was a new me, a new energy. I don't know what happened, but I woke up differently. And but then everything became such an enormous struggle. It was like everything was in my face from that moment on. Anything that is not from truth was slammed in my face. Like, oh, you're really gonna be like this? Not from truth. You're gonna feel horrible. And so I felt everything physically in my body. And I was asking people like, what's up with the energies? What's up with the energies? But I think it was all me internally. Of course, the energy was supporting us. But I was clearing so much. And then a new me arose that is, I think it's about truth and being in alignment with myself. And I used to speak a lot about being on a mission, helping humanity, helping the collective. I believe that that's part of why I'm here, but I forgot the whole enjoying myself part. So I took this as a new job, as a new role that was burdening on me. So I was afraid to do so many things. I was afraid to come onto your show because I was worried about if I wanted to be perfect. Because I had this role of helping humanity. So I needed to be perfect. I cannot make any mistakes. And I was blocking myself in so many ways. So I think that is one thing I had to clear this month, past month.
Yeah.
Past 2 weeks. Oh, it's weeks. Yeah.
I had,
I don't know.
No, I'm sorry. I was going to, there's a little bit of a lag. I had to send out 200 emails. Like there was 220 something people that wanted to come on the show. So rather than, go to each one of their pages and see what I'm like, I'm not doing this. Right. So I put this form letter together and I said, here's what we're looking for. in the nicest diplomatic way I could. I said, we're looking for the real. We're looking for the human transformation. We're looking for
Yes.
how you feel. We're looking for the human, you know. And I said, this is not a marketing platform. There's plenty out there. If this resonates with you, here's a bunch of times. Pick one, and I'll see you. So a bunch didn't answer.
Wow.
But a bunch did, like probably 80 or 90 did. But the interesting thing was, you're talking about truth and being concerned, right? And you know what I mean? Because victim consciousness goes so deep, like I can't answer it this way because otherwise they won't like me or I'm rude. So what I did 2 of them. I did one this morning and I one last night, and I did a few that night. I said to them directly. A couple of them, they wrote me back and they said, yeah, but this is my mission. And I talk to these entities and they tell, I have this information and I have to share it with humanity. And I just wrote back and I said, I wish you I wish you well in everything, brother, sister, but this doesn't resonate with the frequency of our platform. And I just went on.
Made a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's the reason I brought it up is because it's what you're talking about.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah. I resonate with what you were saying. We are changing the game because we are changing who we are again. Because I think maybe last year you would have allowed them in.
Absolutely.
It's changing.
Yeah.
And I've seen in my posts so many are responding that they are resonating with what I say, but that earlier they used to speak about being on a mission as well. I think it's a collective theme that times are changing.
Yeah. And it's funny because they're in the words, that's what messes us up, right? I mean, it's like the words. You put up a post up and people are like, no, that word means this, but so there is like a mission, and that's not the right word. There is purpose. Let's say that there's purpose. There's multiple purposes, but this idea and conviction that we have for the mission, like we'll just use me as an example. I got to do Soulogy, and that my higher self told me 10 years ago, and it becomes a part of this old paradigm, and it can't be that anymore. So again, it has to, people talk about passion, but you just have to be natural, whatever's natural for you. And if it's natural for you to continue doing what you're doing, then great. And if it's not, then it's not. But not to be confused with the resistance to letting go of what was, which is the same thing as resisting the new. And I love what you said too, because it's like it's getting so simplified that that you almost got to laugh about it. And I find myself laughing, like the way you're smiling right now, just going, oh my God, this is all it is. Like, oh my God, the universe is saying, get over yourself.
Yeah.
So you can find yourself. And the great thing is, everything you think you're giving up is still there, and it's much bigger, right?
Yeah, and better. You know what I find really interesting? I was thinking about this, how many of us sensitive people used to have a poor image of self, but also a poor feeling of self. I don't know how to explain it in English, but to feel yourself instead of the other. And like a small ego, maybe. And then when we had these missions and we all found each other, we built confidence and purpose, and we felt stronger. And then maybe we got too attached and it started building our ego a little bit too much. So now it's time to release it again, to be free of that ego.
That's a great description. And you know what's great about the way you describe it? There's nothing wrong with it. It was just the way that we evolved.
Yes.
I mean, it makes sense, because if you had too little of something and you never tasted that, and you're right, many of those like us, and that's not even a fair thing to say, because everyone's probably the same, in terms of what we think they don't know and so on. But but there was for many, a low self-impression because of the traumas and because of being the black sheep and all that stuff. So when that came in, it's a perfectly okay, healthy, natural thing to really grab onto it and charge the hill, and your ego will be affected. But it swings back, and I think that's what's part of this whole thing too, is you swing back and you go and we start to, stay in the middle ground. But I
that's
love
why
the way. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. We
No,
can
I'm
only
good.
be compassionate for everyone, because
Yeah.
when we have been in each part of that swing, we
Mm,
can see it so clearly. We can be compassionate to those who are still building on the ego, or,
mm. Yeah, that's
everyone's
true.
just
Yeah.
walking their pathway, walking their path.
Yeah, but you like something came out of you. You were like, wow. You were just like, I mean, it was powerful. And the other,
Self-sabotaging myself, that's such a big theme for me, like holding myself back. And yes, this is very scary to be here with you, not because of you, but because of all the people. Um, but it's because I don't want to fail. I want to be perfect. I want to be the good
Mhm.
girl. I want to be, but it's so fun to talk to you. So I want to focus on the fun
Yeah.
experience and not be afraid so much.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. I love this old saying. It's my second favorite saying. It's I'm not judged by the number of times I fail, but by the number of times I succeed, which is in direct proportion to the number of times I try. So
Oh,
that's the whole thing, is we're here. We came here to try something. And so,
yeah.
everything's a macro and a micro. But the thing about your post and many, many others, because I see more and more, I've seen like an explosion in Soulogy the last 2 weeks. It started with this lady her name Mina, who put up a post about her husband who was being forced to take a jab. And she wrote
Mm.
this big long post and she said, "Can you help me?" 900 comments later.
Wow.
It was like amazing. And all these people started coming out. And what I was going to say about your post as an example, your three posts, is that it wasn't necessarily the words. The words were powerful, but it was the truth. It was the honesty. It was just getting real, and I'm seeing that's what's really working in terms of people getting expanded from, and their awareness gaining is being able to see the mirrors that our brothers and sisters are, and they put their raw truth out there, no matter what it is, even if it's like shadowed, as long as, because we all got, what I mean, but no matter what it is, it's the frequency of truth.
Yes, I felt that so strongly, that it's important to share, to speak truth now, especially now, because we inspire each other in that way. And I was silent on so many subjects the last year, 2 years, but I think I will change that. If we need voices.
Well, you made up for two or three. Those three were like powerful for a year. Yeah.
Yes, I always say, oh, I'm not going to post for a while now. And then
Yeah,
2 days
right.
later, "Ah,
But it's really, yeah. And another thing about your post is they were in a very honest, genuine way, calling yourself out and calling others out, but not in the hierarchical way, not going, "Hey, you need to do this," and you need. No, you were just saying, "Hey, this is my story, and I'm not going to do this anymore." And so just like the frequency and the energy of it was inspiring. I saw many of these in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Yours really stood out, and that was, get over yourself, stop making excuses, stop playing in victim consciousness, because by God, we've done enough work and we've all gained from each other that we don't, not that we're not going to visit a shadow, and not that we're not going to have to integrate polarities from time to time, but we can be on the offense now. And the offense isn't the drudgery of shadow work and all that. It's the playfulness and the joy and the laughing and the loving, you know, and just and getting past the point of embarrassment.
Yeah, shame.
Exactly.
Getting past the point of shame. But you need to feel safe within yourself.
That's
to
right.
battle that shame or release that shame. It's a difficult thing sometimes for many.
You're damn right it is. That's right. That and you know, we have always tried to create a space for people to come on and feel safe. But the truth is what you just said. You can have the safest place in the world. But if you're not safe with yourself, it's, you know, it's really, it is that feeling. And we've all had that feeling where you're like, what, the spotlight's on you all of a sudden, and you're embarrassed. And but what is embarrassment? It's shame, right? It's
Yeah,
it's
I think so.
fear. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I can testify that you are an incredible space holder, and it is very safe to speak to you. I found that out the first time. I was so surprised when we spoke. I felt so safe, but I felt unsafe within. So
Yeah.
I never wanted to be on again. I'm here now. 2 years later or 3 years later, I don't remember,
But
but
it's
it has a process within. You can only hold the space, but if the other one is feeling comfortable enough, you have no role. You cannot change that.
yeah. Well, there's something really liberating, because I mean, I go through this. A lot of people think, oh my God, you know, you're just such a natural. Well, I've done 3,000 shows. I've done 5,000 videos. It's not, it's still like, for instance, I haven't had time, but I would love to get on one day and just do my soul speak, you know, my rap, and just do it without being scared, you know,
Mm.
or light language, or for someone it might be something else, you know, and just do something and not be scared and not be afraid. But what I was going to say is, now I do a lot of stuff like many of us. I talk to myself. I'm in my room by myself, and I might practice something or do something and listen to myself. This is like, say, a confidence builder or something, and it can be quite invigorating and powerful. But and like you said, you begin to feel safe. You begin to feel comfortable. But there's something that happens when you do it with another person, or you know, you're in a group, or something. There's something happens to you. It really does. And I don't know what that is, but it must be the soul.
Yes, I see it as the energetic field. When we play together, it amplifies. I have this with my meditations I do in this Dragon Collective, and I was thinking about, oh, maybe I can record them, or I cannot record them. I need to do them in a live while the group is present, because if they're not present, I don't feel I don't know, I don't feel it.
Yeah.
Don't feel the spark or the vibe. It is a co-creation with others, even if you are the one performing. I believe you are always co-creating with the audience or the group. Or
Yeah. You know, Abraham Hicks calls it a vortex. And I believe this show is a vortex. This vortex is everyone watching live and everyone that watches a replay.
yeah.
And to what you're saying too. So when I started doing videos in 2015, there were lives, but they didn't quite have it the way they ended up getting it going. So a lot of times I would record the video and then upload it. A lot of people were doing that. But as soon as I started doing lives, there's a big difference when you get the phone and you put it and you turn it on, and all of a sudden you see live and you're on. I mean, it's like everybody's there, right? And you start to get, but something happens. You just start talking, and something told me way back, don't delete your anything. You just put it out and don't delete it. And I've heard a lot of people say that, but so what you're saying, I really believe is true, because I have, you know, helped a lot of people, worked with a lot of people, And they're like, oh no, I need to like have the lighting right. And I'm like, no. Or like I just had a guy who's coming on next week, and a friend of his, Richard McKelzadek, who's really been a great guest to have on, a really powerful guy. He has a friend and he's going to come on. He's like, yeah, so we're going to meet, we're going to talk, and we're going to talk about what we're going to talk about on the show. I'm like, no. Like, he wrote me like a long, I said, no. I said, I will send you a link and I'll meet you in the studio when the show starts. And then he wrote me back. He said, oh, I talked to Richard and he told me how you work. But that spontaneity is so big. And then in terms of like the purity of the co-creation. And, you know, the other thing is that I've understood in my work is you add as many frequencies as possible to an expanding vibration. So you have the frequency of audio, visual, and then the frequency of live is another frequency. It's not like watching, you know, a video. It's different. So there's something powerful about that. Yeah.
Interesting.
So dragons, what can you tell? You just mentioned dragons. I love dragons. What's going on with that?
You and Morgan have your own experience with your dragon aspects. I heard you speak about it. Dragons, what can I say about dragons? You know, when I first did not meet a dragon, the first time I was experiencing dragon energy was when we were doing a meditation for the Giza in the pyramids with a group, and I was taken to the king's chamber, the sarcophage, which is there, and I was just guided to go lay in there, and they put the top on it, and in like a split second I transformed into something, and I broke through the roof of the thing, and I flew out of the pyramid, and I went to the stars and blah blah. It was the whole experience, but I never knew what I transformed into. So the next day I was lying in bed and I asked, what was that? And I felt on my back a burning sensation, and a wing grew out of me, etherically of course, and it was like, I could only describe it as, it was the feeling of a bird and a reptile together, like soft but also very strong and ancient. So I was during the day thinking about it, and then it hit me, it was a dragon. I am a dragon.
I'm a dragon.
Yeah. Oh, a part of me is a dragon, I think.
Yeah.
So that was my first experience with dragons. And then since then, I can see them in my dreams and my visions. And I believe I have a whole team, and many of us do, and we ride them. I think for many light workers, working with dragons is very normal. And I think most of us came with our dragon teams here. And most of us also have a dragon aspect, especially those who are star seeds.
Yeah.
And I host collective meditations to work on the grid, because that's what the dragons are helping us with, to bring light to certain parts of the grid. So it's
So do you have a group? Do you have a group that does it? Or?
You mean a group of people?
Yeah, I mean, do other people collaborate with you?
Yes, they participate. It's a group on Facebook, the Dragon Collective.
Okay.
And if you resonate with grid work, planetary grid work, you can go there, and I host those meditations when we are called.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
We go everywhere. We go mostly sacred sites.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yes, I feel really grateful to be able to do this, and the dragons are grateful too. Are you,
because I know we talked probably like 2 years ago, but you seem to be pretty comfortable with you now. Like, you know, obviously a lot of people have come on the show and we all had the journey of, oh my God, everyone thinks we're crazy and, you know, and all that stuff, but you feel, if you feel pretty, you look like you feel comfortable in your skin, you know, like you feel, you know, comfortable with yourself.
I think I do, yes. Because when I was, I always was a little bit awakened. I don't know how you call it. I think I was born mostly awake, but more to energies and spirits and that don't die and reincarnation. All those things I always knew. But then I had a burnout and a diagnosis of complex PTSD, and my life crashed, a divorce, and then this true awakening happened. The awakening to my galactic heritage, to light language, to my purpose, and it was all very rapidly. So I think I had to. My whole life was upside down. A lot of people left me. It was like, I don't know how to explain it. It was like light entered me, and I had no other option than to choose that light. And anyone that was not fitting to accept me in this, I think I released them mostly. And of course, there's family and people who will always be with you, even if they don't understand. But I think we found a way to understand each other. And they found a way to accept me. But I'm not pretending to be anything other than who I am. Now, I have pretended for 40 years. I'm not doing it anymore.
I know we got that loud and clear on your post.
Oh, sorry. Okay. And you know what really helped? You know what's really interesting? Because the writing on Facebook is sometimes a little bit compulsive because it's like channeling. So when it's given, I need to post it. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, another one? People are getting tired of me. And I don't want to be, it's not that I like the attention that much. That's the weird thing. I want to be at home meditating with my pillows and my candles, but they won't let me. They want me to be posting and talking, and but it also helps to accept yourself because you show up and then you get a positive response, or even if that's not happening, you show up for yourself. You speak who you are from the inside.
Yeah, and it's good too because the more you do it, the better you get. You know what I mean? Like you know, because anytime we start doing something, we start doubting ourselves, and you know, and you know what I mean. And but the more you jump in and do it, then the more comfortable it becomes, the more fluid the transmission, and then you have. I'm always amazed by these women that are raising children during this time.
Yes. Huh? Yes, please.
Yeah. I mean, like you know, I have 6 kids. I had the 2 youngest with me for almost 3 years. Like I was homeless for 2 years. That's the first 2 years. And then the next 3 years I had them. And they were becoming women as well. So they were 2 girls. They were like 11 to 12. And they went to be 14, 15, right? And man, I learned so much from them. It was crazy. It was wild. It was because it was started out as 3D parenting and it turned into 5D, just let them do whatever they want to do. Not like, you know, run wild, but in the house. Like I stopped fighting them. And it was crazy. The house got really messy, but the energy got really good. And I was able to see this feminine energy and I was just in awe. But how many kids are in your household, and what ages are they?
3 kids, boys. One is almost 12, one is 7, and one is almost 3.
Wow.
Different ages.
Wow. And some people, I mean, talk about like what's it like? What are these children like now? I mean, you don't have to tell us anything personal, but like, are you seeing something in them? Are you picking up anything from them, or you know what I mean? Like anything that.
No, what's really interesting is when you are on this path, you are becoming very aware of your own patterns and your multidimensionality, but you instantly see it in others too, and especially your own kids. I think most of us can relate that you get to see maybe some past lives you had together, but also how they relate to their dads, how they relate to their friends. It can be really tiring because you can see all the patterns and where they come from and how you should change them, help them change them, etc. So that's one thing. And what I also see is that my children are way more sensitive and they are accepting it. My son, he was seeing me struggle. He's 11 now and he saw me struggle last week and he said, I'm going to look up if there's a full moon because there's some full moon vibes in this house. And I thought that was really funny. And I was like, okay, he's been picking up on things. But it was so authentic from within.
Yeah.
So,
Wow. Three masculine energies. Yeah, you are a lion. You are a lioness.
Yes, maybe. Lyra lion. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm Aries, so I'm fiery myself.
Yeah, me too. I'm fire. I'm like triple fire right now. I just hit a phase of my friend.
Then?
Huh?
What's your sign?
Sagittarius. Sagittarius.
Oh,
But I have a friend, Zavetta Da Vinci, and she downloaded this spiral over like 3 years, and so she takes different things, but she starts with your birthday, and she does like a spiral, and anyway, I don't go in all the detail, but I just entered this, like a double fire period is really big, but I'm in a triple fire period. For like the next 9 years, right? So
from now on.
Like from 2021, I believe.
Okay, cool. So who knows what we can expect from you?
From all of us, right? I mean,
yes.
Really. I mean, it's such a interesting to watch. You know, like for instance, they had that whistleblower at Facebook was on all over the place, and yesterday, and I guess the day before, and everybody's reacting to it, and I watched it for like 10 minutes. I'm like, oh my God, this is such a charade. It's just a bunch of BS, you know. It's just, and so what I'm trying to say is the distortion is getting really loud, but at the same time, it's so interesting because these individual people like you are expanding. Like you said, your soul couldn't fit in your body, right? I mean, this is really going down.
And this is happening to many.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like, wow, you know, talk about the eye of the hurricane. It's really more like backwards though. We're the hurricane in the middle and the eyes around us. It's all quiet out there. They think it's the distortion. They're making it all chaos, but it's really nothing compared to these hurricanes that are coming out from the center.
I'm thinking now that, you know, everybody was talking about the event or the flood of light or everything. What if it's like this?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. And let me ask you this too. So like, you know, obviously a lot of people, they have had, you know, connections with, you know, past life memories or essences or galactics, you know, elementals. And so there's that part of it. But there also, to me, seems to be something happening that you're talking about, that it's all coming to the human now, right? Like all that's kind of, it's there, but the emphasis is on us. And that's pretty wild. It really is.
I feel like, yes, it is pretty wild. And I feel it has to do with integration of different aspects or energies. And I found out, I thought that with what I do, I write a lot about past life things like Atlantis, Lemuria, but also Mary Magdalene, Avalon. I think those are like templates and
Yeah.
or energy centers, and that we travel through them by getting to know them. We get more and more sensitive to our own soul. So it's like a pathway that takes us deeper inside until we are integrated as the soul in the human, something like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like everything, another way to put it is everything is code. Like
Yes,
the code
exactly.
is in us.
Yeah,
Like the way
exactly.
yeah, like even if I look at like the dragon thing, okay?
Yes.
Like I have a couple of times this year had a couple of like quick flashes, but it hasn't been like as busy as it's been before. But there's a part of me that knows it's activated in me. It doesn't need to do that anymore because because it's
Yeah,
pretty much done.
are it.
This Anubis has been real prominent with me, and it comes around, or well, however you put that, but not very often anymore. But it used to be all the time. And so like it's just it's me. What did you say a minute ago? I am a dragon. Well, yeah, I am Anubis. I am a dragon. And so we're all of these things.
Yes,
Yeah.
every one of us is all of these things,
Yeah.
and they help us
Do
get
you
back to
ever
life.
exactly that's what yeah. This guy came on. He's going to come on again. He's in Puerto Rico. His name's Taino. And he says to me, and he's one of those like down to earth kind of guy. I've been watching you for a long time. I'm coming on. I don't know what I'm doing, but he had such wisdom, truth, genuine, just like your post. And he says, we're learning to be human. And I
Yeah,
said, oh, wow. And then he said, and we don't know what that is. And I said,
yes,
yeah, you're right. Because we know how to be what we thought a human was. But now that we have all this stuff online, what is it to be a human? And I think that's the new code. To me,
yes,
that's the new code. To me, that's the code that we're developing for those that come, our
yes,
next, yeah.
yes. Beautiful. I fully resonate with that.
Hmm.
Yes, we are pioneering. This is such new territory for all of us
Yeah. Do
being in
you
this now. Yeah.
do you ever like wake up and you just feel like you've been in a war or you've
Yes.
been in a fight? Like,
I think it's so funny that you are constantly bringing up subjects that I was thinking about today or yesterday. I don't know, synchronicity, or how did you call it?
it's sequential. There's a
Yes,
sequence. It's like turning the pages in a book now,
yes, the
right?
war thing. Yes, I feel like that so often, and I hear this from many of my friends also, that it's like we have gone to war at night, but maybe we have. I
Could
really think
yeah.
that I don't really resonate with the whole war thing,
I don't either. No, but
um,
I get what you're saying.
but it can
Yeah,
be that we are like traveling in dense places,
yeah.
because there are dense places.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no
What
doubt.
if we visit those to visit our soul family or to help out? What do you think?
Well, and I've had over the last, what is my, what day is it? So like
Yeah.
the last 5 weeks, that's September, maybe the last 30 days, I've had more memory come in, like other planet incarnation memories and dream state memories, lucid dreams. So when I wake up that way, my feeling is it's not so much, it feels like you've been in a fight, it's always like in my shoulders and on my back, some people say it's the wings, but I always feel like what it is when I get the chance to go into dream state, like we're working, like I just get the feeling I'm going over here and shining some light and going over here and
Yes.
and integrate and then going, and so it's like rush everywhere, and that's what causes the the sensations of physical
Yes.
exertion. Yeah, that's what I feel like.
Yes. I agree. And also riding a dragon, it isn't easy.
No,
No.
hang on for dear life. Yeah, hang on for dear life.
Yes. And I've seen also myself, for example, holding things, like holding tubes of light, and I had to hold it for such a long time because someone else was working on that. So
Wow.
yes, physical work.
Yeah. And then I'll tell you something else. You know, every now and then, and I know you get this, people will say, hey, you were in my dream last night, or you
Yes.
came to, but in the last 30 days, I'm getting 1 or 2 a day.
Yes.
And it's
Because
picked
we
up.
are uniting.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think that's why, like you said, these things that you're asking me, I've been thinking about these things because I think
Yes.
we're actually bringing that, like it would make sense if we're integrating the non-physical and the physical, that
Yes.
at some point there's not going to be a gap anymore. It's
Yes.
all, yeah,
You will just be in that moment
yeah,
immediately. Yes. I resonate. I think I might have dreamt about you also. I dreamt about you earlier. I told you.
Hmm.
I really believe that with the people we are resonating with or we feel so family with, we work with them at night.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
I can also confirm about more dreaming about people. I used to not be able to see their faces, to know who they were, but now I can see them more
yeah,
clearly. But I think
yes,
because we are more, the veils are lifting, we are uniting more, and we are bringing
yeah.
dimensions together. I think, yeah.
And the crazy thing is that it's facing the truth of ourselves, which sounds so horrible. It sounds like, oh my God, you're you're this and you're that, but it's not that. It's facing what we've been. It's not a judgment. It's like, but we don't want to do it because we're in fear that we'll be labeled or found out or something. So it's so weird because it's this very human thing that actually creates what you're talking about, that actually creates more clarity and more connection with this conscious awake state versus what we call dream state. Because it's all and now let me ask you about this. So because a lot of people I've talked to are saying the same thing. I don't sleep. I don't sleep. I slept 2 hours last night.
Mm.
I should be out on my feet, and when I sleep, typically what'll happen is I'll go to sleep when the sun comes up. I'll sleep for anywhere from 45 minutes to maybe 2 hours, but usually about 45 minutes to an hour and a half, maybe. And then I'll get up, get some water, go to the bathroom, go back to sleep, and the same thing. And it'll have 4 or 5 times it'll happen. Are you sleeping all through the night?
Yes, I'm half African. I love sleeping. I sleep.
Mm,
Sleep is my medicine. If I don't
mm,
sleep, I go crazy. So I can sleep. But I've heard other people speak about this,
mm.
not sleeping. And they speak about the energy is too high. I cannot rest because the energy is so high.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's true. It's not like you have all these thoughts in your head.
no,
I don't have them. It's
vibration in
yeah,
the air.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I forgot about the 9/11 when you said the thing about 9/11. But I started doing those solos again. And the most powerful one I did, I was laying in bed and I was like somebody, in the old hotels here, they have vibrating beds. You would put a coin in when I was a kid and the whole bed would vibrate. And it felt like my body was vibrating and that
Yes.
I started to levitate. And I'm like, but I also felt like I was dying. I
Wow.
felt like my light body was coming out, or maybe it was like what you were talking about, like my soul was too big, and I just started shaking, and I felt sick, and I ran in here to do a video, and I called it, the let's talk about COVID. It wasn't like a rebellious thing. It was just like seeing things. Anyway, it didn't matter. But I also put in there, this could be my last video. And I wasn't really being serious, but I felt like I was dying, you know? So it's not like thoughts in your head. It's just, you're right. There's like an energy. Yeah. Yeah.
And was that the video where you cried for not caring anymore about if you get banned?
Oh yeah, that was the
So
one.
powerful. I watched that one. That was, you spoke truth there. There was your lion. You were so
Yes.
powerful.
Yes.
Yes. That
That's
was the same energy that, yeah.
yeah, the one yeah. We must come from the same cave.
Yes.
the same branch on the tree of life, right?
Yes.
God, there was another, yeah. Oh my God, I forgot. The 3D memory thing, right?
3D memory?
I can't remember, but
Oh, sorry.
no, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. We have been getting suppressed, by the way, which is fine. And we're not being attacked, and we don't believe in that. We're just transforming energy. We're transformers, right? We're all alchemists.
Alchemist.
But if you guys, you know, from time to time can share, I don't ask anymore, but I've noticed that lately. Yeah. And another thing that this lady wrote me, she's probably like 35, married. She's married, I think she has a couple of kids. And she's like, can you help me with this? So her whole, like, she's been going through this process for like 3 or 4 weeks. Her Kundalini's gone off. You know, she was like having like multiple orgasms and then orgasms in her chakras and, you know, and crowns blowing up. So, and it's really interesting because she's sending me like updates. And so I'm wondering to myself, how many people is this happening to?
Yes, because I had somewhat the same experience. My Kundalini was driving me crazy, and I was like, "What's this about?" Really intense. It was it was also the beginning of September, maybe. I don't
Really?
remember. Yes, I think so. I wrote it also. My timeline is my memory. I don't know when it was, but I concluded for myself that it's all to release, to shed everything we don't need anymore.
Yeah.
I believe that's also the purpose of the Kundalini. Of course, the unity within self and with God, but it cannot go up and down if you have blockages or sabotaging thoughts or
Yeah.
ego structures. So it's all push, 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 everything out.
Yeah. That's what it is. That's what's happening. You know, people, I had it, you know, I had like a disease on my face for like 2 weeks. I didn't think it was that bad. And then people were like, hey, are you okay? You know, and it's like splotches all over your face. But I've seen that happen to a lot of people, rashes and just, you know, different things. But you're right. It's the physical. It's what everyone's been talking about for all these years is actually happening.
Yes. When we spoke of purging 3 years ago, we had no idea. This is the real purge.
Man.
Maybe it's different for everyone. Maybe everyone is on a different, how do you say, time frame.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah. No, the purging can be. I asked my soul, you know, I said a few months ago, I said, let me do it in lucid state, lucid dreams. And most of the time that's what happens. But then I came back from Soulogy Fest and I started juicing, seriously juicing, like, you know, every day and all day and still am. And man, but those first 30, 45 days, I was dying. I mean, I was expanding, but it was just like, you know, I mean, the pores of my skin, you know, everything was just coming out.
Wow.
So, yeah.
But you're still juicing now.
Yeah, I'm still juicing.
Great.
Yeah, I've got I don't know how many liters it is. I think 600 liter containers I'll drink today.
Wow. But you don't eat food, normal food.
Very little. I mean, I do, you know, I'm not going to say I don't, but if I do, it's like a
McDonald's.
wrap. It's like a wrap, a grain wrap, with a lot of grain in it, and like fiber, and then like I have like 10 avocados because
Wow.
I'll eat an avocado every day or two, and usually lettuce and cilantro.
Mm.
That's pretty much.
Inspiring. I don't know if I can. I need my grounding. I need my grounding. But maybe I can
What?
add more vegetables.
Yeah. Do you juice or do you eat? What do you eat?
No, I just eat.
Yeah,
If
I mean, everybody's different. I mean, look, I like to eat hamburgers and, and I will go and get one every now and then. I will.
mm,
I'm not like, like a militant, I'm not. My soul told me you need to do this. And,
mm,
and I know because in June and July, everybody was purging. It seemed like everybody was like, just like screaming on a roller coaster, and so I know that what was happening was I wanted to do this as fast as possible.
mm,
And I feel I know that that's helped me a lot to be able to have the experiences I've been having, especially like the last few weeks, because I never had memories of being on another planet before. I
mm,
never had that. I had memories of galactic war, but I never had memories of actually being on the planet and knowing everything that happened on the planet, what the purpose was and all that, which gave me even more respect for what we're doing here. It's a
mm.
special place. It's a really special place.
Yes, I feel that too.
Do you want to how much time we got? Oh, I already ran you overtime, 7 minutes. Do you want to do anything before we get off? I mean, I'm not trying to pressure you in any way. I just don't know if
No,
there's something
I
you,
can do
since
everything.
you already jumped into the container. No, I don't know if you want to, if
I
there's,
don't know what should I do now.
I don't know. I don't know if you want to just do a short meditation or, I mean, I'm not trying to like, I'm just, it's up to you. You can dance, sing, whatever.
Okay. Maybe next time I will prepare something, but not a dance, a meditation.
Or you could, yeah, I don't know, any thoughts just to share with your brothers and sisters and me, like,
All I wanted to say to people who are like feeling desperate or that it's taking such a long time, because I was there like the day before yesterday, I felt like, oh my God, I'm not gonna make it. Um, that we are going to make it.
yeah,
That there is a bright future waiting. Yes,
yeah,
I
yeah,
feel that it won't take long before the truth will, how do you say, prevail.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And I think, I know we've accelerated the timeline many times. And I feel like we did it again. God, I can't ever think about when these things happen, but I think it was 3 days ago or 4 days ago. It was the last time I woke up and I felt like, oh my God, I was working hard in the sleep,
Mhm.
because I didn't remember any lucid dreams, and I knew, but I remember getting up and I was just like, wow, like I could feel the shift in the world. It was just like,
Yes,
you could tell that it wasn't going to be 2035 or, it's like right there. It's this close.
yes,
It's this
yes.
close. Yeah.
I felt
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I just want to tell you that I really appreciate you coming on. I really want to say too, again, thank you, and those like you, thank you for the inspiration. Thank you for stepping up, because every time someone does it, 10 more do it. It's just, and that was, if you never do anything else in your those posts, that little growth spurt that you had was an amazing contribution to to the earth, the new earth grid. And so I love you. I wish you the best and all blessings to you and your beautiful babies. And they're not babies anymore.
Yeah.
These young men that you're raising. And if you need to have a happy hour once a week to deal with their energy, then I can understand that too.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving everyone a platform and a safe space to share.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
More than also.
You take care. We'll be back in 20 minutes with somebody I can't remember.
That's all I thought.